Hey everyone, welcome to the Active Towns channel. My name is John Zimmerman and I am heading down to get my hair cut. I'm looking a little bushy right now. And I wanted to shoot this video here to test out a brand new front camera system that I'm testing. Got the Insta 360 X4 attached to the front of the Brompton here, and yeah, just looking for some additional options and maybe some flexibility on my front camera setup. Many of you may know that I use a 2-camera setup when I do my on-bike interviews. So yeah, that's what this ride is all about. It's also to test just how smooth it is on some really, really rough roads right now. We're getting new sewer lines and water lines here in the neighborhood. So this is an incredibly rough surface right now, so it'll be interesting to see how smooth this actually is in the final product. So we'll give it a test. I won't necessarily have a lot to say the entire way. I'll just sort of jump in and out on occasion as I make my approximately 15-minute ride to my hair barber on the other side of the lake, on the other side of Lady Bird Lake. But I'll pop in from time to time and just give an opportunity to see what this all feels like. And who knows, maybe I'll see some other things worth chatting about along the way. There is some encouraging infrastructure that has been done here in Austin and is continuing to be worked on. Here's these guys working on the new fire hydrants and other aspects of the new water lines. This is one of my frequently filmed intersections here, this new improved and enhanced crossing here. It's nice having a shorter distance to get across, and we are seeing some improved yielding behaviors in this particular area, which is nice. And up here we also see our eco counter, our bike counter. Hopefully that counted us. Actually, it didn't. It's unfortunate. Not sure what is up with that particular counter, but it frequently miscounts both people on bikes as well as walking. So maybe some little fine tuning that needs to take place. And you'll see here, I am merging onto the Butler Hike and Bike Trail. This is a part of my commute down to my barber. Up ahead, you might notice that there is some construction work happening on the trail. That is because there's some major bankside reinforcements to the Boulder Creek, or excuse me, to the Barton Creek banks up here. And so I think that the trail is going to be closed down for, I want to say, several months as they work on that. There is a nice bike and pedestrian detour that has been established, and I'll probably shoot some video of that, maybe on my way back. Yeah, that's what I'll do. On my way back from the haircut, I'll shoot some video of that detour that has been constructed to get folks around and navigate around the work that's being done on the other side of the bank. You can probably see that right now. The tractor's working over there. The reason why they need to reinforce the banks is because in past floods here in the Barton Creek, there have been some landslides, and so they're trying to get that rectified. This is Lou Neff Point, which is one of the most beautiful places to stop and get a view of downtown Austin across Lady Bird Lake. And as you can tell, the Butler Hike and Bike Trail is a beloved activity asset here in the downtown Austin area. Walkers, joggers, dog walkers, people on bikes, everybody. It's a truly, truly wonderful asset to have here in the city, both from a recreational perspective and also a utilitarian transportation and mobility corridor. It's both, which is what I emphasize all the time here on the Active Towns channel, is for cities not to just view their active mobility infrastructure as one or the other. It can serve multiple purposes, including as recreation, wellness, as well as utilitarian purposes. Get your best bang for the buck when you do it that way. You need that return on investment. That is for sure. Off to the left here, you see the Great Lawn at Zilker Park, another one of the beloved activity assets, and also the location of the ACL Music Festival. Now up ahead here, you will see a major highway. This is the Loop 1, the Mopac Expressway. So you see some of the cars sort of making their way over the overpasses and the bridges. And the traffic seems to be creeping along a bit. It's one of the great examples of induced demand. If you build more lanes, you will simply get more cars, and then eventually gridlock will ensue, congestion will come back. But yeah, just one of the major weaknesses of cars that you have. But just like with expanding infrastructure for cars, if we expand infrastructure for active mobility, you have induced demand of that as well. And that's what we're going to see here with our most cherished, one of our most cherished bridges over Lady Bird Lake. And that is what we have right up ahead here, the bridge under Mopac. Nice view of the downtown skyline from up here on the bridge. I believe this bridge is the Crenshaw Bridge. I'll have to double check on that name when we get to the other side here. Also over to the right is the Austin High School location. So the high school is located adjacent to this bridge. Yeah, Roberta Crenshaw Bridge. Very nice. And now we're merging onto the Johnson Creek Trail. Down below is Johnson Creek as it meanders its way down to Lady Bird Lake. Not sure if there'll be any water flowing in Johnson Creek at the moment. Could be a dry creek bed. We haven't had a lot of rain recently. A little bit. But you can see we're sort of serpentining our way underneath Mopac, the multiple lanes of Loop 1. Yeah, you can see down below there, it is a dry creek bed. No little fishies living down there right now. We are in a multiple year drought here in Central Texas, and Austin is about ready to go into the dry, hot summer season. And we'll be back on drought restrictions, water restrictions. You'll notice that these bridges, underpasses, pathways are a little older, well, quite a bit older. They've been here ever since I've been here, which has been just over a decade. But you'll see how this integrates with a couple major streets, both 5th Street and 6th Street. We'll first see 5th Street here. We're passing under the rail line there. Later this summer, I will be doing a whole bunch of Amtrak trips all around North America. And just down the way here is where the Amtrak station is and where I will catch the train. I'll be heading in that direction, the direction that you saw that train, freight train, traveling. As I make my way to my first stop in June, which will be Chicago. All right, we are gonna make our way across this busy street. Again, this is 5th Street. One of the many ridiculously oversized one-way streets in downtown that Austin has, that they really need to convert back to two-way. Really, there's not a single street in all of downtown Austin that needs to be more than one lane of motor vehicle traffic in each direction. It just really isn't that much traffic. And if we had safer mobility options for active travel and transit, especially more effective and efficient travel and transit, we could get away with not having so many redundant redundant lanes on these massively oversized one-lane stroads. Now, oftentimes when I'm on my big bike, I will lock up to this bike rack right here. But today, since we have the Brompton, we're just gonna take the bike right into my appointment with my barber, Bree. She's been cutting my hair for, oh gosh, I guess it's been about a decade now. How time flies. Just about. I'll have to double check on that history, but I'm pretty sure it's pretty close to a decade. And yeah, we are here. All right. Hope you enjoyed that ride here to the barber. I'm gonna shut the camera off now, but then turn it back on when we hit the road heading back the other direction. We'll show you some other cool things, and yeah, we'll compare the two different legs and see what this video really looks like, what the footage looks like, and also you get to see some of the interesting infrastructure that's going in place right now here in Austin, including that diversion, the detour that we saw just a moment ago. So until then, I'll be back soon. Okay, we all done with the haircut. What do you guys think? Yeah, it was very much needed. Less shaggy now. Okay, so we are gonna backtrack a little bit here and make our way into the downtown area, and we'll pass right by the Amtrak station, and like I said, we're gonna look at some new infrastructure along the way, as well as take a look at the detour that we had a little bit of a glimpse of earlier. I'm just noticing here that I've got a curb I need to jump. Okay, we are on our way. Yes, this is a rather interesting, quote-unquote, sidewalk. Not really ADA compliant. Pretty much a joke, but part of the challenge that we have here in North America, a lot of our active mobility infrastructure is quite bad. We're gonna do what we can to finagle our way around this construction. Okay, so we are all queued up here to make our way across 5th Street. We're going to take a bike and bus lane. It's in pretty rough shape, typically, due to a lot of the asphalt sort of shifting. So you have to make sure you don't fall into one of the big crevices or potholes up here. But give you a little bit of an idea of what it's like to ride on this particular structure, this street. Here's one of the big potholes for you. Here's a bus that's sort of waiting. And then once we get past this block up here, we are going to be in a bike and bus only lane. You see the red coming up here in just a moment. And here we are. And again, way too many lanes in one direction for far too few cars. Again, one lane in each direction really is all that's needed for motor vehicle traffic. And that would be enough of a pain in the ass factor for people to consider other modes, other options. But yeah, this is not ideal infrastructure, but I can tell you in the years that I've been riding this particular stretch, usually a couple times a month, at least one for my haircut, and then usually another time or two running other errands. I've never had any trouble on this at all. Rarely see a bus, which is part of the embarrassment of the lack of frequent transit service. But even when there is a bus here, I have never had a problem with the drivers. They've always been very, very courteous and stay behind me. This is kind of downhill and net downhill, so I may be able to cruise along at a pretty comfortable pace. And they typically have a few stops along here, so I've never had a bus driver sort of crowd me in any way. So it's been fine. Again, not ideal, but it works. We're gonna hang right here because this is a little alternate route for us. And immediately ahead of us here with the terracotta tile roof, that is our Amtrak station. You know, I don't know what the original Amtrak station was all about. Maybe it's actually this old structure here on the right, but that kind of looks more like an old dilapidated factory structure. But yeah, so that's where I'll ride my Brompton here and catch Amtrak to jump on the Texas Eagle, either heading up towards Chicago or heading to Los Angeles. And I can also get off in San Antonio to catch the line that heads through New Orleans and heading east. So yeah, more to come from the Amtrak station. Again, super, super easy for me to get there from the house. Interestingly enough, I'll show this particular route. I'll be able to take part of the Butler Hike and Bike Trail right to a section where I can get to the Amtrak station, right up that road that you see off to the right there. For those people who are on this side of town, believe it or not, they literally have just cut a hole in the fence right here, and this is where people go. They jump across the tracks right there and get to the Amtrak station. Otherwise, they have to take almost like probably like a 3/4 of a mile loop around the long way to get to the station. And just on the other side of the Amtrak station is the YMCA. So there's also a compelling reason to be able to cut a hole in the fence and then jump the tracks and walk down to the YMCA as well. Okay. What else should I show you? Oh, I know what I want to do. I've shot this before, but I want to show it to you again and see what the progress has been with this new multi-use path along Cesar Chavez which is an alternate route to the Butler Hike and Bike Trail. So let's go check that out. And besides, this is a nice little high comfort route that'll take us past the Central Library, which is fantastic. Now, if we stayed up here on this 3rd Street bridge, it would deliver us right to the downtown area, but we're gonna head right and head down the pathway. And we'll be passing under the 2nd Street Bridge. We also call this the Butterfly Bridge, depending on your angle of looking at it and orientation. It sort of looks like butterfly wings. And then off to the right is the bike parking and the Central Library, sort of the side entrance to the library. And then this is Shoal Creek Trail, and it will take us to the Butler Hike and Bike Trail, which is right here. And so you'll see we are on the north side of the Butler Hike and Bike Trail. And we're gonna get to see some brand new infrastructure. This is the multi-use path that runs parallel to Cesar Chavez. Eventually, to the right here, you'll see a future facility. This will be a here we see this building. This was the old inlet of water. It was the cooling for the power plant, the Seahome power plant, back when it was in operation. And on the water side of this particular structure here will be a boardwalk that will jet out into the water. And so that will be an alternate trail route in the future. They are more than likely, the Trail Conservancy is likely running a fundraising. I don't know if it's active now or it will be in the future for helping fund that. But this is all part of the new infrastructure right here. You can see this brand new concrete. This is a brand new shared use path that is an alternate route to the Butler Hike and Bike Trail. Previously, this really didn't exist. This was just dirt. And so there was no all ages and abilities trail or sidewalk connecting to these crosswalks. So this was a huge gap that recently got filled. And as you can tell, it's already being well utilized. And again, you can see that Cesar Chavez is a 4-lane stroad that is not super comfortable. Again, another potential road diet in the future. The more that we prioritize cars, the more cars you get. And we're gonna hang a left and go up over the bridge. This is always fun on the spiral. And again, we're on the Pfluger Bridge, bike and pedestrian bridge, the quintessential location for folks to get an amazing view of the downtown area. But we're heading this way because we want to see the Detour. If you might be able to see down below, the trail entrance is closed there, and the trail entrance is closed here at the stairs. So we are diverting to the Detour because I want to show you what the city has put in place for this detour, for the trail. And you can tell already, this is the trail detour traffic. Also coming up on a brand new, revised and enhanced fitness area. This was recently built with monies raised from the Austin Parks Foundation and also the Trail Conservancy. Nice to have that. I will occasionally do some pull-ups there, trying to counter the loss of muscle mass as I age. And again, the trail down below is closed. So this is all part of our detour. I used to live in the condos off to the left there, Barton Place. And I would take my drone out here and practice flying the drone, getting some footage. Which reminds me, I need to get some more practice flying the drone. I might just have to get used to bringing my drone with me on my North American trips. I'm usually pretty hesitant to put a drone up just anywhere. Again, we're still on the diversion, the detour, for that construction that's happening on the Butler Hike and Bike Trail. And this section right up here where you see the orange detour sign is the provision that they have put in place for people on bikes. That's us. And voila, here you go. A little pop-up, enhanced separation, two-way cycle track that didn't exist last week. Nice to have this in. Really cool. And then here's a new concrete trail connection ramp that was recently built in preparation for all of this construction of the trail. And voila, we are back on the Butler Hike and Bike Trail just prior to the construction zone. Pretty nifty, I think. Now, if only cities could take that same sort of ethic towards putting in protected diversion infrastructure, detours for other construction sites out on the roads, rather than just forcing people on bikes and walking into motor vehicle traffic. That would just be peachy. Thank you very much. I'm gonna roll us past this counter again, just to see if it actually catches us this time. It definitely missed us the last time we went through, so it's been very quirky. I don't know why, but it is. So we'll test it out. This is just because we're filming it. Why not? Let's give it a test. And yes, it is nice when the Prime delivery guys do not block the bike lane. Okay, and I'm not sure if you were able to see it, but 40, it went to 41, so it got us this time. Nice. Good to see it caught us the second time, even though it missed us the first time. We've got another person on a bike coming up. So he should be 42. And got it. Nice. Yeah, not sure why it's so quirky, but it had a 50% capture rate for me anyways today. Looking for a little bit better success percentage compared to that. And up we climb. And yes, this is a very, very steep hill. This is where I get my workout in. Now, before I start breathing very, very heavily into the microphone, this is as good a place as any to say goodbye. Wrap this little test video for the Insta360 X4 as my front camera. Again, I don't know if I'm gonna go with this, but this is a test. Also, I should say, this is just out of the box. I haven't done any custom settings yet. All right, well, that's all for now. If you enjoyed this silly little test video, please give it a thumbs up, leave a comment down below, share it with a friend. And yeah, with regards to the comments, do you have any suggestions using the X4? Any tips? Hey, I'm all ears. I've used the X3 a little bit, but emphasis on little bit. So yeah. And as always, if you're enjoying this content here on the Active Towns channel, please consider supporting my efforts by becoming an Active Towns ambassador. Super easy to do. Just navigate over to activetowns.org. Click on the support tab at the top of the page. Whew. Now I'm really out of breath. Okay, folks, that's it. Until next time, this is John signing off by wishing you much activity, health, and happiness. Cheers.
And a huge shout out to all my Active Towns ambassadors supporting the channel via YouTube Super Thanks, Buy Me a Coffee, Patreon, as well as making contributions to the nonprofit. I could not do this without you. Thank you all so very much.